According to Shams, the Spurs have agreed to re-sign Greg Popovich to a 5-year deal that is believed to be $80 million. So this means he'll be getting $16 million a year. I think this makes Greg Popovich the highest paid coach in the NBA. I think he already was prior to this deal. Now, does this shock me that he decided to do this deal? I would say no, I'm not surprised at all because I've felt that Popovich is going to coach until he can no longer coach physically, until his body just gives out. I've always believed this because he said for years, especially when he was coaching with Tim Duncan, he would give up coaching the moment Duncan retired, but he never did. He still continued. Also, his ex-wife tragically passed away several years ago, and I felt that that left a void within himself when she passed away. Allegedly, he was very close to his wife. So I felt that after she passed away, that he was pretty much going to do this for as long as he can because he has really nothing to get excited about outside of basketball. His kids are all grown up. He's a grandfather now, so and he no longer has his wife. Of course, he could find another woman, but if we're being real, at Pop's old age, it's hard to find true love. So I don't think he's ever going to find that again. So basketball is really his focus. I think that's what keeps him going. It keeps him alive. I'm not going to say young because he looks like he's over 100, but you get what I'm saying. That I think it always gives him a drive and energy that if he decided to quit, he probably loses that. And he probably doesn't live much longer. I've seen it happen with a lot of people that the moment they retire, it's like their body completely shuts down because they have nothing to look forward to. There are people who actually are workaholics that love work. Working to them is like heaven. And I feel like Pop is one of those guys. I would say that Wemby winning the lottery gave Pop a strong case to stay longer, but I think he would have still stayed even if the Spurs didn't win the lottery and drafted Victor Wembanyama. So I felt he was going to stay there. And plus, I think Pop loves developing younger talent. He loves teaching. So I think that's something he enjoys. He has that experience with developing a lot of young talents. Granted, I felt Tim Duncan was already seasoned when Tim Duncan got drafted, so he didn't have to do anything with him. But I saw throughout the years him work with guys like Tony Parker, Manu, Kawhi, and just walk them through all the steps to become a great player. He's gone through that process. He's very seasoned when it comes to that. He knows how to go through all the steps. And I think he just enjoys doing that, especially with his current team. There's so many young guys that still need to be polished, that still have time to grow and get better. So I think that this type of work gives him a lot of energy. It reinvigorates him. Just it gives him a lot of purpose. I actually think he's the right coach for Victor at this moment of time, just because he's already a veteran, he's already established, so there's really not any pressure for him to win games, to rush the development. I feel a coach for any other organization would feel that pressure because they need to win, or else they get fired. With Pop, he's pretty much with the Spurs forever, regardless of not if he wins or loses. So he's not going to rush any steps with Victor. I feel in this process that he's going to go through all the steps. And even if the Spurs end up losing games due to him being patient with the development, I think it's still going to work out because it's going to allow Victor to grow comfortably in that role and become a great player and become the player he's supposed to be instead of just being rushed and thrown out there and forced to be a 20-10 guy when he's not ready yet. So I think it'll be good for Victor. I also think Pop will be very protective of Victor over these next upcoming years from the media because the media will try to tear him down like they have done after the Summer League game and what's going on with social media. So I think he's going to be like that protective parental figure for Victor, which is going to be good for Victor's development. So I think, surprisingly, I'm not against this signing because I've been critical of Pop in the past. I felt at times he's been out of touch with when it comes to coaching just the last several years with some of the crazy stuff he did post Kawhi. But for a developing Victor, I think he's perfect in this situation. Just he's going to be very patient, and it should be interesting to see what happens the next 4 or 5 years with this current Spurs team, how they develop and what kind of team they become. I think the one last thing that motivates Pop in this journey is he's never won a championship without Tim Duncan. So I know he has that big ego and he wants to prove to people he can win without Tim Duncan. So we're going to see the next 5 years if he can pull it off. It's going to be an exciting adventure, and I look forward to it. So that's all I have to say about it.